I do like this jumper, it's kind of very bright. Hey everyone, it's Jamie. Now I am fast approaching 5.5 years on T, which is crazy. I started way back in January 2012 when I was still 17, just before I turned 18. And I've read various places that after about 5 years, changes start to reach their maximum and nothing new and exciting happens anymore. But some things do carry on, like beard growth can still happen, like filling in of beards and beard stuff, which I am very grateful for because I'm very happy with my beard. I'm very happy that I have one, but it's quite sparse on the cheeks. It's not very cheeky. But basically, I thought that this was like the perfect time to do an overarching video that just explains everything that testosterone has changed about me physically. Everything I can remember, and I will do a separate video for emotional changes, otherwise this video would just be incredibly long. I will do my best to remember everything I can, but I cannot guarantee it. I do have a bit of a terrible memory. If you feel like I've left something out or you have a question about a certain change that I've not mentioned, please feel free to comment below or ask me anywhere and I will let you know whether that has or hasn't happened. But to give myself the best shot at remembering, I'm gonna start with my feet and work up to my head and just like literally go by body part and say everything that's changed about that aspect of my body. Ready? Okay, so let's start with my feet. They still look pretty much the same as they did before. They're still feet. They are a bit hairier, like particularly on my big toes. Not the most exciting change, but it's a change. They're hairy. I've had no change in the size of my feet. I know some people do say that they like go up a shoe size. Brilliant. A shoe size. But my feet have been a UK size 9 from pre-T and they're still UK size 9 now. Okay, my legs. I'm just gonna go for the whole legs, including the knees and the thighs and everything, just legs in general, are hairier. Like much hairier. I kind of feel like I'm walking around with 2 like black fluffy cats on my legs. Maybe 4, like 1 for each calf and then 1 for each thigh, because I have got quite long legs. Otherwise, unless it's like a massive cat. My legs seem disproportionately hairy to how hairy the rest of my body is. I am not completely hairless, but I'm not the most hairy person in the world. And I feel like my legs are quite dark and thick hairy, whereas the rest of me isn't like that. It's kind of strange, but warm. My legs are also thicker. I'm not talking about hair here, like size-wise. They've gone from twigs to slightly thicker twigs. Slightly thicker, slightly. They're just kind of generally a little bit chunkier looking. I'm pretty sure most of it's muscle because like the muscle definition's also increased on my legs, but I'm pretty sure there's a bit of fat in there as well. My legs do wibble when I shake them. Well, my thighs do. That's everything to say about legs. They're just hairier and bigger. The next one is potentially TMI if you think about what comes on the body after thighs. So please mute for the next 30 seconds if you like know me in real life or don't want to hear about that personal side of me. I have had lower growth. It's probably one of the earlier changes I noticed, like one of the first ones that happened within the first few weeks of T, and it happened quite rapidly in the first year and then it just kind of slowed down and nothing much has happened in the last couple of years. I'm happy with what's happened. Sensitivity has increased as well, and so has my sex drive. Both of those things are not as extreme as they were when I first started T. Both do kind of calm down a bit. T also stops periods. Mine took ages to stop because my T levels were too low. For the first year I was on T, so it wasn't enough to stop. As soon as I switched over to a higher dose and my T levels were increased, it stopped straight away. My butt crack is probably the hairiest place on my body. It's ridiculous and it got hairy very quickly. I feel like in terms of body hair, I've been quite a slow burner. Everything's come in gradually over several years, but my butt hair just came in with a vengeance. It was like I started T, several months later, poof, hairy butt. Also, my pee smells a little bit different. It's very strange. It actually does smell different, although it was something I noticed within the first few weeks of starting T. Just when I went to the toilet, it smelled stronger and a bit different, and it's something that I stopped noticing because obviously it wasn't new. I'm just assuming that it still smells different to how it did before, although I can't tell anymore. My hips and waist. I think this was quite an important one that I wanted to change because I was, although quite skinny, my shoulders have always been fairly broad, but like my waist just went in so extreme that I looked very curvy. So my hips are a little bit smaller. I've lost a bit of fat, but to be honest, this fluctuates because whenever I put on a bit of weight, it does still automatically go to my hips. I'm pretty sure that's nothing to do with me being trans or testosterone levels or anything. That just seems to be where the people in my family store their fat first, basically. But my waist is like 3 to 4 inches bigger than it used to be, and I think that's a big reason why I do look less curvy. It's not all about the hips. If you're worried that you're gonna look quite curvy forever, it's about other parts of your body as well. You can build up your chest, build up like your obliques and make your waist slightly thicker, because your hips won't change aside from some fat redistribution. Unfortunately, the bone won't change. I'm also hairier on my tummy. It started off like just this little fuzzy trail that kind of went up to my belly button, but over the years it's kind of grown higher, and it nearly joins with my chest hair. It kind of very faintly joins, but it's also spread out across my tummy as well. That was another slow burner for hair. That took a long time. I would say it's also still filling in now, and it really started filling in once I was about 2.5, 3 years on T. My chest. There's quite a lot to say about my chest. In terms of when I was pre-op, what testosterone did, it wasn't much. I had a slight bit of fat redistribution, I think, because testosterone won't do anything to breast tissue, but it can cause fat to redistribute out of your chest. And so I had a little bit of that, so I had a slight decrease in my chest size pre-op, and that was about 7 months on T. But now my chest measurement is like 4 inches bigger round tiptoes, round here across my nipples and around my back than it was when I was pre-op and pre-T, which I think is pretty cool because like I've lost a substantial amount of stuff off the front of my chest that would have increased that measurement, but kind of like my back has got a more muscular and my chest is more muscular as well. That's made my chest bigger, like made that measurement bigger, which is very cool. My chest hair was very, very late to the fuzz party. I lost my only like 2 or 3 chest hairs when I had top surgery. Where they were was also an area that was removed. Oh, that sounds horrible. I've never thought about it like that. But when I hit kind of like 3, I think it was like 3 years on T, it really started filling in. It's still filling in now. It very much resembles an arrow. Like it kind of joins up with the line almost of my tummy hair, and it's kind of like an arrow shape, which is wonderful. Shoulders, arms and hands. Shoulders, arms and hands, arms and hands. My shoulders are broader by a few inches. The muscle on my shoulders here are bigger, which I guess is why they're broader. My arms are about 1 inch bigger from like bicep to forearm than they were pre-T. Still not very big. I've also got some hair on my arms. It's nothing spectacular, but it's there. They're hairier than they used to be. My hands are the same size. They're also still pretty thin, but so is the rest of me, so I wasn't really expecting a miracle there. They haven't changed except the hairier, like a very fine smattering of hair. Kind of, I can see it if I do that, like just some hairs sticking up. I've got like 1 black hair. They are veinier, which I quite like it when the veins pop when I'm warm. I like that look. It kind of goes up my arm as well. Oh yeah, my arms are veinier too. Neck. My neck is thicker than it used to be, which was a surprising change. It's not something I thought would happen, but it did. Like my neck is a lot thicker. I think it's mostly like these bits here. And I noticed this first, like when I was wearing t-shirts that were slightly tighter on me. They really felt like they were kind of choking me around my neck, and I kept having to like pull and stretch out the neckline. But also my Adam's apple, I don't know if you can see, that's become a lot more prominent. Like it was prominent before, slightly, like it was kind of there, but it's a lot bigger now and it's visible at all angles. Pretty much, I mean, like if I do that, you can't, oh, maybe you can you still see it? I don't know. But before, like when I was pre-T, it was only like very particular angles that you could see it at. I was very proud of it, but yeah, you couldn't just see it like all the time, which you can now. And it's also quite sensitive, like if you get a hug and somebody's shoulder is your throat height and the shoulder hits your throat, it's a lot more uncomfortable than it used to be. But yeah, the Adam's apple became a lot more prominent quite quickly, and it didn't really change much after the first year or 2, I don't think. Also, this definitely seems like the right place to mention that my voice has dropped considerably. See example.
Hey, so I am officially on testosterone today, 25th of January 2012.
I almost forgot to put that in. I genuinely almost forgot. It's like the change I was most excited about and one of the changes I found most exciting, and I nearly left it off this list. Good job. Okay, we're at the head. So like from chin to hair, everything that's changed. Did I just say hair really weird? Hair. Chin to hair. I have a beard. Yay, look, my lovely beard. I'm very, very proud of the beard. It took its time though. I was really starting to doubt that I would ever get any facial hair. I remember taking so many photos when I was around like a year to 2.5 years on T with the flash and going, oh my God, there's like a little bit of hair here and there's a few hairs under here, but they weren't visible if I took a photo without the flash. It wasn't until I was about 3 years on T that I had anything remotely visible, and then it just kind of started filling in from there, and it's still filling in now, not particularly slowly either. I really do think it's starting to come in. My cheeks are definitely filling in, so I have hope for a full beard one day. Don't give up hope on your beard. Like, I know some people are extremely lucky and they get like amazing beards or really decent facial hair within the first year on T, but for other people it can take much longer and just be a slower process, and for some people it might not happen at all. Look at other people in your family, see what kind of facial hair they have. Fat has gone from my face. I'm pretty sure it's gone to my tummy. Yeah, I think my tummy. Maybe the thighs as well. A little bit on the thighs. Yeah. So I'd say that my face does look kind of longer, a bit more angular in my opinion. Like basically it just looks less round and soft. It's no longer like a little beach ball. It's more like a chiseled statue. No, it's not a chiseled statue at all. Oh my God. My jawline is also stronger. Not that you can really see it with the facial hair covering it. I am tempted to shave because I'd really like to see what my facial my facial hair looks like. Yeah, shave to see what your facial hair looks like. Good idea. No, I'd really like to shave to see what my jawline looks like now, because it has been a long time. It's kind of like when my beard came in, I was like, no, you're here now, you're staying, I'm never letting you go. My nose got bigger. I didn't need it to, but it did. And my eyebrows got eyebrowier, they got bushier. They just kind of bushed up a bit. That sounds weird. I have lost some hair off my head. I used to have very, very thick hair. It is still thick, but not quite as thick as it used to be. And my hairline has gone back a little bit. A lot bit. It went back between 2 to 4 years on T, and it really hasn't changed at all in around the last year and a half. So I'm kind of hopeful that it just readjusted itself and now it's good. It's good. It's happy with where it's at. Better be happy with where it's at. And just some general things, because not everything will fall into a particular category. I am stronger than I used to be, quite a bit stronger than I used to be. I'm spottier, particularly on my face and my upper back and like my shoulder area. I also have these random hairs on my back and my shoulders and just everything. Like, they're very strange hairs that just kind of, they don't really make sense. They're just kind of there. I sweat more and I smell different. Like, I used to be able to wear a t-shirt that was clean on in a day, sweat a little bit, and it would be fine. I could wear it the next day. Now, they just stink, and I need to wash t-shirts so regularly. Essentially, I am a hairier, except for my head, smellier, spottier, stronger person, and my body shape is less hourglass, more like a V. Not quite as much as I'd like, but it's getting there. I weigh more, not much more, but more. And my measurements are bigger pretty much everywhere. Arms, chest, neck, legs, yeah, it's waist, except my hips, which is slightly smaller. All in all, T has changed me a lot. Like, a lot. Not everyone will have the same changes to the same extent in the same time frame, but there are kind of some general themes, so I hope that this gives a kind of overview of what testosterone can do and in certain types of time frames. If you want more specific time frames, I do have comparison videos which will show you how things have changed, but I just thought it might be good to have like a talky video that explained everything that has changed rather than just using photos and stuff like that. Sorry if I forgot anything important. Do let me know in the comments below if you think I missed anything off. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!